Hey, what is up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. In today's video, I wanted to give you guys a small glimpse into what my world is like as I run this wonderful channel called Secureteam. Now, as I've said many times before, a large majority of my videos are based on reports or stories or tips or videos, UFO sightings, all that have been sent to me by viewers. Here's a small glimpse into my Secureteam email inbox, just to give you guys an idea of how much data and footage and just messages that I receive on a daily basis that I have to somehow get through and respond and review and analyze. And as you're seeing here in this email box, I have around 50,000 messages. And as I'm scrolling down here, you can see the timestamps of when all of these are seen, and it's literally almost an email per minute, if not more. Sometimes every few minutes, sometimes, very few times does any amount of time pass where I don't receive a message. And as you're seeing here, as I'm cycling through all of these pages here, you can see I'm reading a lot of them. There's a lot of them unread. I have sort of a system that I use to check through them. It's very disorganized, but it makes sense to me the way I do it. So, you know, I do this all myself, all right? And as you guys can see, I get a ton of messages. Like I said, sometimes well over 1,000 emails within a 24-hour period. So I want you guys to know that I'm doing the best that I can. And, you know, I could get help, but I just don't trust anybody, especially in this field. I've gotten plenty of offers. You know, I'm very iffy about giving anyone access to my Secureteam accounts. So if you have sent me messages, I will get back to you. Please be patient. And so in today's video, I just wanted to go through, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 different emails just to show you some of the cool stuff that I get on a daily basis, the stuff I get ideas from. Some of the stuff I get is crazy, outlandish, hard to believe. Other UFO sightings I get can be more difficult to discern. You know, not everything is an up-close HD 4K high-resolution UFO sighting. You know, a lot of people use their phones, they see things from far away, and you just get what you get. So let's go through a couple of these emails and I'll show you a lot of the cool stuff that's sent in. And we'll start with what was described in the title of today's video as an amazing, and if real, a really amazing piece of UFO footage that was emailed to me by Josh L. The subject was UFO event in Paris, France. He wrote in his email, quote, "I came across this footage supposedly taken in or near Paris, France. Not sure of the exact date, but was told April 28th or the 29th. Please share this if you find it interesting, as I did." And so I'll let you check this video out and we'll talk more in just a second. Alright, so was that not amazing? You know, whether it turns out to be real or not, that's pretty damn cool. And as I said, the viewer who sent it over didn't have any info on it. He said it was supposedly taken in or near Paris, France within the last week, and that's all we know. And I've done a little bit of digging since I received it, haven't been able to find a copy of the original video, so I don't know. It could be a full-blown hoax, and you guys maybe will help me discover that after I post this video. It could be someone trying to fool me with a CGI video that they created, which has been done before. Every now and then people try to test me to see if they can slip one of these CGI videos by me, but I've developed a pretty good eagle eye, and a lot of the times it's fans of the channel who will just, be trying to test me out. But this, I don't know, this has, it just has that authentic look to it. It doesn't look like CGI, it looks like something that's actually happening somewhere. So if it's not CGI, maybe it's something else, some sort of strange light effect or reflection off something. There's a lot of stuff happening in this footage, but it would seem to be over a wooded area. The original video had some music playing to it. We don't have the original audio, so yeah, this is just an example of some of the more crazy UFO sightings that are sent to me. Sometimes they're legit, sometimes we just don't know, we don't have enough info, but still cool nonetheless. Let's go to another email, this time from a viewer over Angeles City in the Philippines, who captured and submitted to MUFON this sighting of a purported, well, what he called a, quote, jellyfish UFO, and for obvious reasons. So we have 3 photographs, and these were sent to MUFON, and there's a case file, so you can download those. I'll put it down in the video description. But we have this shot over a house here, and we just see this strange object sitting above it in the distance. As we zoom in here, we have this really strange shape to this thing. It looks like a jellyfish. It has what look to be some sort of tentacles hanging from it, legs, arms, whatever you want to call it. But it was seen in the sky. Someone happened to snap a pic of it, and this is how the majority of UFO sightings happen, You don't know what you're seeing, things can be far away, and that definitely adds to the mystery of it. So even if we don't have a full dossier of information, it's still interesting to look at, and well worth posting. I've always said that the study and research that encompasses ufology, it all comes in small pieces. Evidence doesn't come in one whole piece, neatly gift-wrapped for you. It comes in very small crumbs, little puzzle pieces that we have to put together. And that's exactly what you would think a mysterious phenomenon like this would come in. Something that is so heavily guarded, and that is kept in secret. So let's go to our next email, this from a viewer who directed me to some HD footage of the moon, telescopic footage, that was posted by the YouTube channel Marcus Stark, and he posts all of these awesome HD lunar videos. Head over to his channel and check his work out, great job. But he posted a video where at one point when he's zooming up very close to the moon's surface, we can actually see a shadow moving across the moon that looks to be actually being projected down on the moon's surface. And so you've been watching that here. So if you didn't catch it, I'll go ahead and slow this down here. It happens very quickly. But there's a few things about this footage that you guys need to understand. We're going to get a lot of comments from people saying, alright, this is just a bird, or a bug, or a plane passing by. To which I respond, there is no way this could be a plane, or a bug, or a bird. And the reason is because the person who's recording this is using a very high-powered telephoto lens and telescope. And at the distance that he is zoomed in, even if an ant were to crawl across the lens, you would not even see it, because it would be projected so large that it would basically either block the entire lens for a microsecond as it passed by, or you would just see a massive black blob completely filling up the entire lens. And that goes for whether this is a plane, a bird, what have you. You would not have this tiny shadow moving across the moon. So whatever this shadow is coming from, it's directly above the moon and was only able to have been seen using this high-powered telescopic lens to zoom in close enough to the moon to catch it. So what we have here is an object very close to the moon's surface, and from what I can see, this thing looks like it's moving on the surface, because as it moves over the craters, you can sort of see the shadow stretching across and moving over the rocks and crevices. And so the question is, what is it? We only have a few satellites that are orbiting the moon, and this thing looks large. It looks like a large circular object casting this shadow. So I will leave it up to you guys, and I will put the link to Marcus Stark's video down in the video description. Now on to an email from Yash Verma, who was recording a commercial airliner passing through the sky. You can see the plane's contrails passing behind it, and out of nowhere, an object seems to just come out of these contrails and start flying in the opposite direction. So check this out. Alright, so very interesting piece of footage here. It happens almost immediately. We see this airliner, we see the contrails, and then we detect some movement in the contrails. And sure enough, this object pops out. And at one point, we can see it reflecting sunlight off of it, so it looks metallic, to me at least. And as we zoom in on this thing, you know, at first, I thought maybe it's a plane, you know, and the viewer thought it was a plane maybe, but as I'm looking at it, it kind of looks like a plane, but then again, it doesn't, because it doesn't look to really have any wings, and just the way it's flying, its movement, and its shape makes me think that this is something else. And the way that it just sort of appeared out of this other plane's contrail, that's just really weird. Where did this object come from? And is it a plane, or is it something mimicking a plane? And we've spoken a lot about this in the past too. There's been a lot of footage out there of these so-called holographic planes or plane mimics or fake planes, where a lot of people have seen these things, and there are channels out there solely dedicated to recording these, but they'll have videos of normal everyday airliners, and then they'll capture these other objects passing by that look like planes, but when you zoom in on them, they will often have no windows, they will have no contrails, they will have no lights, and it'll just be this sort of vague appearance of a plane, but with no discernible characteristics or logos or windows or lights or surface features, and they have been known to morph into different objects. It's very, very interesting. And so that opens another whole can of worms as to people thinking that these are alien craft that are taking on the form of planes, kind of hiding in plain sight, if you will, no pun intended. But it's very, very interesting. So before we go today, we'll share one more email. This comes from a viewer who directed me to a piece of footage out of Jakarta, Indonesia, where this mysterious formation of lights was seen on the horizon above this city. And well, check this out.
Awalnya loro mau kok iso muncul sijine. Iki apa ya? Itu pesawat sing jelas.
Itu pesawat iku dhuwur iki pesawat ana pesawat ngene.
Endi?
Kae ngira.
Ah, iya.
Pesawat.
Nah, iku pesawat. Lah isor iku apa ya? Mang sing keyword dhewe iku durung murep, Kang. Aneh ya? Apa kayak ya?
Nggak ngerti ya. Pencalonan gubernur telu.
Aneh loh. Loh, sing kanan arepe ilang. Oh, melaku, Kang.
Iya.
Iya toh?
Dicilik ya. Loh, kayak melaku luar kayak.
Nah.
Alright, what you just saw was a shortened clip of this. You can go to the link in the video description and watch the full video. But we have these men here who are observing these strange lights. There's 3 of them. At one point, one of the lights disappears, after which The second one disappears, leaving only one before the video ends. Now, the viewer who sent me this gave me a rough translation of what the men were saying. And so the man who was recording said, quote, "At first time, only 2 objects, but how the other one could appear, those are not planes, obviously. What is that?" And so the 2 men watching these were obviously perplexed. Here we have just yet another strange sighting of these lights in the sky. Sometimes they're flares, sometimes they're Chinese lanterns, other times they just sit there for hours and perform maneuvers that a flare simply cannot do. So the jury is still out on this footage, but big thanks to the viewer for sending it over. And yeah, I hope this has given you a bit of a glimpse into all of the different stuff that I get emailed on a daily basis. And what you just saw was just the UFO sighting aspect. I also get a ton of emails with tips about interesting mysteries or stories, photographs, eyewitness testimony, people's personal accounts of abductions, just a range of really cool stuff. And in future videos, I'm planning on getting into touch with a lot of these people who have given me their personal accounts of their experiences, and we're going to start doing some Skype interviews. Alright, so that's going to be awesome. Dr. Stephen Greer is going to be our very first Skype interview here on the channel. That interview is going to last for about an hour. So we're gearing up for that, and we're just going to explode this channel into the best that it can be. Interviews, UFO sightings, mysterious things happening around the world. You know where to find it, so stick right here with Secureteam, and I will see you all back in just a bit.